Hello and welcome to the Justice Factor. South Africa has a new mining minister. Will AMCU support Gauteng Makhashule? My guest later on in the show is AMCU President Joseph Mathunjwa. After that discussion, we'll give you, as usual, our winner and loser of the week. But first, following its national conference at the weekend, can the DA win the 2019 elections? Or is it just more of the same? My guest today is DA MPL in Gauteng Makhashule Gana. Makhashule Gana, welcome to the show. It's lovely to have you here. Can I ask you, I followed your conference and then afterwards I sat there thinking, you haven't done anything outwardly to convince me to vote for you. What you've done is fought about race inside the party, fought about... I don't feel you talking to South Africa about winning. Or maybe you don't want to win.
Thanks, Justice. The conference was not only about the DA. I think many people had expected that we are going to fight on the Congress floor around some of the proposals. And there was no fight. I think many people were left disappointed. But we adopted some important resolutions, resolutions relating to land, resolutions relating to human settlements, resolutions relating to the healthcare. So the way
give me one that will grab me and say, these guys are talking sense and are actually going for 20.
You see, for instance, one of the resolutions that we had going to Congress, it's around the land and how we want, and we put it explicitly, that we want Section 25 of the Constitution, want expropriation as per Section 25 of the Constitution to be implemented. Because the reason that there's been a slow pace insofar as land reform, land redistribution, it has been because the government has been lacking a political will to implement the provisions of the Constitution. We are talking about insofar as human settlements.
Can I tell you what I think as a voter the problem would be for me with that? Is that it sounds like you're reacting to the EFF first and then the ANC saying, oh, we are going to expropriate without compensation. So you're thinking, oh, no, let's take a resolution and land, and our resolution is, no, leave Section 25 alone.
That's not just a reaction. It's a reaffirmation of the standing of the Constitution. Because at the time that the Constitution was crafted, the interest of the crafters of our Constitution was in the main the black people who were dispossessed, the poor who do not have access to land. Therefore, we cannot stand here and say the crafters of the Constitution, the people that died, the people who had laid their life on the line to come up with this Constitution, they had done so not with the interests of the people in mind. Therefore, it's important for us as a political organization that represents the hopes and aspirations of all South Africans to be able to reaffirm that the Constitution needs to be implemented. Because from where we are, we don't see anything wrong with the Constitution insofar as the land is concerned.
So what would you do as the DA to redistribute land, to change ownership patterns?
We will use the Constitution, will expropriate land within the confines of the Constitution, and we are going to ensure that the land that is expropriated is given to the individuals.
So you support expropriation without compensation?
We support expropriation insofar as the Constitution says. It's incorrect for people to imagine or think that expropriation does not feature in our Constitution. What does not feature in our Constitution is the policy that the government had adopted of willing buyer, willing seller. So that particular aspect does not feature. Insofar as expropriation in the interest of the public, it is part of the Constitution.
So if I'm sitting in South Africa somewhere, yes, and I look at the DA, and I'm in Hammanskraal, and I think, what does the DA say on land? I'm living in this barren piece of land. My parents were moved away from this or that place, or I need land, I want to farm, and so forth. What would you say to me to convince me to vote for it?
We need justice to ensure that the people who are staying in Hammanskraal, the people who are staying in the villages in Limpopo, in Mpumalanga, and other parts of the country, they've got individual title to the land that they stay in, so that they can use the land both for agriculture purposes, for residential, but also as a collateral. Because one of the things that is in a way delaying the progress of many people is that the land that they are staying in It's not the land that it's in their name. So it's important that first and foremost, we get the land straight to the individual that's staying on the land. But also, for the people that are interested in farming, we are able to get them into farmlands, but offer them assistance insofar as skills, insofar as access to the market and other infrastructure. Because it does not help. I mean, one of the things that we need to say, it's not only about giving land. It's about giving people land as an opportunity to contribute to the economy.
Okay. Tell me this. Yes. Do you feel that the DA dealt decisively with the race issues that had come up in the run-up to this conference, that you came out in agreement? And I put this question to you because I would say to you, you say, no, we reject quotas as part of our diversity idea, and yet you look at, say, your top leadership and women. If you don't push men to change, they will not. If you don't say we must see 25%, 50% change in the next 5 years, they won't change. It will be, oh, the women are not ready. And then they'll say it about black people too.
I'll never stand or sit and say that the women in the DA are not ready to lead. Women in the DA are ready to lead.
Yeah, but in 5 years' time, you go to conference, there's still not enough of them in there.
Justice, I will not sit here and argue that I will not wish for more women to lead at the national level. If it was up to me, I would have had that. But the important thing is for us to accept the outcome of Congress as a reflection of Congress. But one of the important things this Congress has done, and the debate around diversity was never a debate around quotas. The debate around diversity is how do we build a party that South Africans from all walks can see themselves in the DA.
Well,
they can see their hopes and aspirations
yesterday
in the DA.
Afternoon, I'm driving in my car, turn on the news, and I hear Musi Maimane has won the leadership, and then Athol Tolip is this, Mike Waters is this, and not John Steenhuisen, the other gentleman is this. And I think, oh, yeah, there go a bunch of men and white men and a black guy. And I think, okay, do I see myself in this? Do you see yourself in that?
I see myself in the DA. Because I am part of the DA. I am the DA. And as I was saying earlier, the important thing that come out of this Congress is that we have agreed that we are going to take active steps as a party to advance and promote diversity within our ranks. And unfortunately, others say that the only way to achieve diversity is through quotas. I will never agree to that. I think if you want to achieve true diversity, you need to work towards it. You know, you need to identify, you need to develop, you need to invest in people. You know, I gave someone an example yesterday, Justice. I said it's like when you plant a tree. You can plant a tree and hope that it will rain. It will grow through raining. But for me, when we say we want to take active steps, it's planting a tree, go to the river, fetch the water, use the fertilizer to grow that particular tree. And that's what active steps is. So it's not to wait for rain to fall for the tree to grow. And that's what it is. We are going to work towards it. Are we there? I will not say we are there because there's work for us to be done.
If I was a woman or if I was a DA member, I would say, if you're the CEO of the DA, you'd say, this is what, you would say, the DA got 27% in the local government elections in 2016. Our goal in 2019 is to get to 30%. That is goal setting. That is a quota that you're giving yourself. But you're not prepared to give yourself a quota, a goal in this issue. You're prepared to give yourself a quota for what you'll achieve in 2019. You
see, when you put to say we want to win Gauteng by 50 plus 1%, that's not necessarily putting a quota.
It's a goal.
It's a goal. Our goal is to see the DA being diverse to an extent that all South Africans can see themselves in the DA. So if there's still a section, Justice, that says that we don't see ourselves in the DA, it means that there's work for us. Whether the perceptions are true or not, I would say that there's work for some of us to try to put the DA that all South Africans can see their hopes and aspirations in.
One report indicated that the DA has taken a beating, if you will, or a step back due to the so-called Ramaphosa effect. How do you intend to regain your support if you'd have gone from 27 to 24%?
Yeah, I think there are perceptions that we have taken a drop, you know. But when one looks at
it's not a perception; it was an internal DA survey.
I'm responding to it.
Okay.
To say that when that leaked or someone said so, for me, I look at the recent registration weekend that we had, the national registration weekend, and I see how many people have visited or have come to the DA tables, showing excitement around the DA, and that for me gives me hope that that drop was just temporary. After this Congress, our task going forward, it's only focused on 2019. It's focused on winning Gauteng and retaining the Western Cape and increasing in all other provinces.
Can you do that when perceptions are high that in your party, some people get away with absolute murder and some people don't? You've just adopted a recall clause that many people, including herself, say this was written with Patricia de Lille in mind to recall her, and yet Helen Zille, others, have done more outrageous things or have done outrageous things, and they're still in the party. No recall clause adopted for them.
Justice, the recall clause is not to deal with Patricia. And I need to tell you now that that particular clause will not be applied retrospectively. So we're not going to go to our files and say this person did this, now we have this clause that deals with the recalling of DA members in government. What that clause seeks to do is to say, how do we strengthen the relationship between ourselves as the party and the members that are representing us in executive office to ensure that at all times we stay true to the policies and principles of the organization. So Mayor de Lille, this particular clause will not be applied to her based on what she did before yesterday. It's not going to be like that because we don't apply our roles retrospectively.
Are you happy with the way the party has treated Patricia de Lille?
There are aspects that I believe they could have been handled differently. And I expect that going into the Federal Legal Commission process, she's going to receive a fair hearing and a proper outcome that she will be happy, and everyone will say that the FLC process was fair and to everyone.
Makhashule Gana, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and thanks for clarifying so many of these issues.
Thanks very much for inviting me.
After the break, AMCU leader Joseph Mathunjwa.